Let's be honest, you're probably confused how to properly clean and maintain your Dyson Ball Animal 3 because you might have loved it when you first got it, but now it looks dirty or you're going to be losing suction. I will teach you the 5 steps to properly cleaning and maintaining your Dyson upright, what products to use to get the best results easily, and most importantly, what not to do because it's easy to break this thing if you're doing the wrong thing. And it's really ambiguous how to properly clean the motor head. So I'm going to walk you through how to properly clean the motor head, which screws to take out, and which screws to leave in. First things first, let me share with you the products you might need. I'm going to show you one that's going to be very affordable and one that's going to be a little bit more high-end. Well, here we have a cleaner. You can either use something like a Clorox cleaner and bleach, just because I like the versatility that it kills some of the bacteria and viruses that might be inside of my dirty tank. But this is going to be my hack here. So I use this total interior cleaner and protectant from Chemical Guys. But generally, if you get a auto interior cleaner product, it's going to be really good because it can clean glass, it can clean your dash and clean your navigation and all of the trimming, and that's exactly what your Dyson is made out of. Second, if you're looking for which brush I'm going to be using, you have the option to use a standard toothbrush, or I have this more sophisticated brush that came with one of my vacuums. Next, you're definitely going to need some type of stick because there's going to be areas that your finger are not going to be able to reach. And these products are generally not required, but I do recommend them if you can because it makes your life a lot easier. Some type of compressed air. So I have this type of machine that's also going to be using compressed air, except it's like a blow dryer that blows a lot of air through this little hole. So not that fancy. I got this on Amazon. I'll put a link in my description, but that's something that I like to use. And finally, you can either use paper towel, or in my case, I really do prefer to use some microfiber towels because they're going to produce less dust. Next, I'm going to show you how to clean the motor head, which is the hardest part to clean and scary for a lot of people to clean. So let me just walk you through how simple it really is. If you want to open it up, just press the red button on the side here. You're going to twist. You're going to be able to take out the roller. And the roller, as you can see, my roller has some hair. So you just want to clean that up. Next, I just got my soft toothbrush. This is not a firm toothbrush, it's a soft toothbrush. We're just going to scrub it. And the hair, a lot of hair will normally get trapped in between the roller. So this is where you're going to want to pull the hair out. Because this is actually where the seams are, where the gaps are really where the hair is going to get stuck. So you can see, let's pull everything out. This is where the compressed air helps a lot. One of the hardest things about cleaning up the motor head is actually going to be, what do you do if something's clogged in there? What do you do if something's stuck on the glass here? And what do you do? How do you get all this hair out? So first, anything you can get out manually with your fingers or a tool, get it out. Option 1 is going to be if you do not want to remove any screws, you can opt to put the solution on your towel and then you're going to gently push in your microfiber towel using your stick, and then you can just rub the microfiber towel gently back and forth on the glass to clean it. Make sure not to put too much pressure on the roller bar. Then I'm going to use the compressed air gun to remove any additional debris as well as dry it. If you want better access, use this small Phillips head screwdriver and then you're going to remove the mini screws. You can't use a regular size, it won't fit, and make sure not to damage the screws. And this is going to be on the rear bottom panel. And inside of there, you will find dust, you will find particles inside of it. It's going to be gunky and dirty the more you use it. So here, I just use that compressed air. You can just blow inside of it and remove as much dust as possible. Then I'm going to use a Q-tip or a towel, wet that with a little bit of solution, and then use my stick just to go into the corners gently and then clean all the crevices out. You can also use a Q-tip to clean in between all of the anti-tangle veins. If you're wondering, can I open the front cover? You're going to see these mini Torx screws and you're going to see set screws on the side, but I would avoid opening it. There's electrical components in there and it's not simple to open it and you could potentially damage your unit. So leave it closed. You don't really need to open this area because there's not going to be a lot of debris caught in there anyway. And now that you remove the rear cover, you have a lot more space to operate inside to clean the glass as well as to clear any obstructions inside of the motor head. Step 2, how to clean the dustbin. The dustbin is very simple to clean. Just make sure you do not get water in the cyclones. So the first thing you want to do is just open it up, release any of the captured dust inside. All the easy dust, just make sure you just shake it out inside your sink or the garbage can. Next, we're going to pop off the top and just get access to the washable filter. This is the filter that's most likely preventing your unit from really having its maximum suction power. So if you're experiencing a loss of suction, it could be because this filter is clogged. So we're going to want to wash that. We're going to place that in our sink. I'm going to show you, if you look inside of here, there's going to be these cyclones. These cyclones are not generally areas you want any water to get into. And we want to detach the lid from our unit. And a lot of times people don't know how because it's hidden. So when you open it up, so if we just open this up and release the trigger again, and you release the trigger, there's going to be a little button here. You want to press that button, and that's going to be able to pop out the housing on your Dyson. And then you can remove and separate the bin from the filters. And you can really see where a lot of the debris is going to be located. It's going to be located where the rubber housing is. And also, generally speaking, human nature is going to tell you that you can remove this filter off of the cyclones. But I do not recommend that because it's not that easy. You don't want to snap any of this plastic. And you don't necessarily need to use hot water. You can just use regular tap water. And I'm just going to rinse my filter out. And I don't need anything abrasive in order to rinse it out. All I need to do is just take my time. It will take about 24 hours to fully dry this. And then after it's dried, that's where we're going to place it back. And now that I sprayed it, you'll see some caked on stuff. That's where you're going to want to use your brush. The gasket is not hard to clean, but with my soft toothbrush, I make sure to really scrub where the rubber gaskets are because there's going to be a lot of gunk that's going to be trapped in between the plastic and those rubber gaskets. Overall, if you use some type of cleaner, you're going to find that cleaning this thing is going to be simple work. Next, how do you clean the cyclone filters? You do not want the cyclone filters to ever get water, so I always want to clean it facing downward. Now, we want to clean these filters. You're going to think, oh, I could separate this and open it. It's going to be screwed together. Don't try to open it. All you really need to do is just scrub the areas with the soft toothbrush. Take your time and just let the water and the toothbrush just do its thing. Step 3 is going to be, how do I clean the Hepa filter and the ball area? Because the ball area is going to have various hoses as well as it's going to house the Hepa filter. The Hepa filter is going to be washable. All you need to do is remove the cover on the side, and then you can remove the Hepa filter and just wash it and let it dry. You want to make sure that when you're washing the Hepa filter, you're not going to get it too overly saturated, and if you do, make sure to allow it to dry for 24 to 48 hours so you're not bringing additional moisture into your motor. The water or soap is going to damage your motor, so just make sure not to do it that way, and I use this pressurized air gun to remove any of the additional liquids. To remove and clean any of the blockages you might have inside the ball, well, you're going to want to remove the main hose, and that means you're going to press this small red latch on the bottom of the main hose, and that's going to release it from the ball. Here you're going to find two different hoses, one that's going to be on top and one that's going to be on bottom. The top one's going to have a window that you have access, and the bottom one you have a screw that you have to remove with a small Phillips head screwdriver, just like before. We're going to remove the screw to access the bottom hose. Then once you remove it, you're going to open up the latch, and that's going to give you direct access to clean this hose. You're going to see that a lot of the blockages are actually going to be on the bottom hose more than on the top. So again, I'm going to use my little brush to clean inside of the hoses. You can also opt to use a paper towel and try to push it through, or use your microfiber towel. There's lots of ways you can clean these hoses, but you want to just make sure you clean it of any obstruction. Be gentle so you're not puncturing anything, and then make sure that you try to keep it dry as possible. Then you can wipe down all the additional areas, and you want to double check the window again to make sure that you don't have any liquid inside of the hose. Do not overdo it here, and your gut is going to say, hey, I want to add more liquid, I want to add more solution. Don't do it, because it is difficult if you don't have a compressed air gun to properly dry this area. And if you get any water in, make sure to run and use a paper towel or some type of microfiber towel to remove that water. I am stressing you do not want water in these hoses because it's going to directly go inside the motor in the ball, and that's going to damage your machine. Step 4 is going to be to clean the wand and the main hose. So you just want to remove the wand and the main hose by detaching them all together. The wand is just a long piece of plastic tubing, so you can take that to the bathtub and just rinse water through it, and then make sure it's dry after you use it. For the hose itself, you can do the same thing, but again, you want to make sure that it's dry after you do it. My trick is that I just like to put a paper towel inside. Don't jam it in so that it can't move too much, but you're going to put a paper towel in there, then you're going to push the wand through, and it's just going to push the paper towel to the other end, drying and cleaning your hose, making everything easy so that everything is dry and ready to be attached again. And you've made it to the end. Step 5 is just reassembly.
So I hope this was helpful for you, because I know how difficult it is to clean the Dyson Ball Animal 3, especially if you're not sure how to open all of the various compartments and all the secret areas. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment in the comment section, and please hit that like and subscribe button. It really does help support our channel. This is one of my favorite vacuums, but at the same time, you have to properly maintain it in order for it to keep working for a long time. So I'll catch you next time. This is Dave with the French Close, signing off. Bye. Bye.